Hello, this is Vida Kumar, and you're watching Medicircle. We are here with our healthcare startup series, but with a new startup and a new startup entrepreneur who is with us, Apurv Agarwal. Apurv is the co-founder of Avni. Now, what does Avni is and what it aims about, that we have to know from Apurv. But to tell you in a nutshell, it aims about the women's wellness brand. It is a women's wellness brand, and mostly it's inspired by grandmoms and especially Ayurveda. And it promotes toxin-free, conscious, and tested menstrual products designed by women, and that is also handcrafted by the rural women. So let's know more about Avni. Hi Apurv, welcome to Medicircle.
Hi, Smita. It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure to be here.
Great.
First of all, thank you for the warm introduction. Uh, I mean, you've said it enough. I mean, you have said more than what would I would have said
Sorry for
in
stealing.
the introduction of Avni.
Sorry for stealing your words, but it's a women's brand.
No, that's okay.
I'm very much, excited because see, we need to definitely have more and more products on women health and hygiene, especially those who are sustainable. Because when we talk about women's health hygiene, there are so many startups making different products. But at the same time, if they are sustainable, affordable, accessible, then definitely it makes that startup and its products completely differentiated from the market. So,
Yeah.
as a startup, as a co-founder of Avni, tell us more about your startup.
So, Smita, we started Avni about 1.5 years back. And the sole idea behind starting Avni was we wanted to build a women's wellness brand. And this also comes from personal experience and experience from our co-founder, Sujata, who is also my wife. So we experienced a lot of challenges which we wanted to resolve. And the most common challenges which we faced were, there was some irritation, there were rashes, there were chances of infections. So overall, the experience during the menstrual cycle for Sujata, which we experienced, was not so easy. And that is when we decided we need to work on something. And while doing our research, we found out that trust me, our forefathers, they were much more eco-sustainable than what we are. um, and also they had this sense of conserving the environment much more than what we care about during those days. And that led us to seek what are the ancestral practices for menstruation which were available during that time. And the most easiest one which we found was they used to use cloth. So that's when Sujata remembered that she herself had used cloth when she, started menstruating, and she was at her village. She was with her grandmom, and there was no access for sanitary napkins so easily. About 20 years back, 25 years back rather. So she used cloth, and that's when she remembered that cloth has been really good for her. It has been very soft. It has never caused any problems to her. There were a few challenges which were there with cloth, but then we decided we can work upon it. And that is when we decided working on our first product and our flagship product, which is a reusable cloth pad. So if you see in our reusable cloth pad, because we both come from a healthcare background, both of us have done our pharmacy and then we did our masters in marketing. We have this intent to, go back to healthcare roots of ours, and we decided that why not use our, education in creating some product which can create a difference. So that's when we decided to make this cloth pad, which you look. It has got a very unique design. It looks like a modern day cloth. I mean, a modern day pad, but it's a cloth, a reusable version. The
That's
challenge with any older cloth was that there were leakages which were observed. So we we found out a way that we can, have cloth which can absorb up to at least 30 ml, because being a healthcare professional yourself, you would understand that 30 ml is what is sufficient for a day. For a day, I'm saying. But that's what the first thing was for us. the second thing was we had to use a fabric which would not retain stains, which, because if stains are visible, then the ultimate feeling with the consumers would be that this is not hygienic, this is not healthy. So we did our research there. Fortunately, we got some help from Sujata's father, who is also a textile engineer himself. So we got some help there. And lastly, of course, we have seen in various advertisements that cloth is not good because it causes infection. So first of all, that's the wrong information which has been spread. I would really like to put that across, because cloth is only as good as we wash it properly. If we are not washing it properly, if we are not drying it properly, then any cloth, even the shirt which I'm wearing, will be unhygienic. So to cater to this big challenge, we also introduced an antimicrobial technology in the cloth. Right. So whenever now we understand there are certain taboos which are associated with cloth pads. So not everybody would be able to sun dry it in open. So why not dry it in shades, well ventilated places, even if they are drying there, and if there are chances of any minimum amount of bacteria to be developed, at least the antimicrobial layer will take care of it. So we are trying to build a holistic solution at Avni, which will help women across all ages, all demographics in India. Right now, even if you see the demographics, the body shapes, the size in India, they differ a lot. So we also have a very varied range of cloth pad sizes, which you will see
Okay.
in the as compared to any other player in the market.
So that might be one of the US,
So
because again cloth is something which has been used earlier, and I like to share one study here, Apurv. Like as per a National Family Health Survey (NHFS) report, about 50% of women in India that is aged between 15 and 24 are still using cloth for menstrual protection. But yes, at the same time,
right.
the reuse, and that because again it's dried and used, and that actually increases the exposure to multiple infections, local infections especially. So how is, I mean, Avni trying to actually reduce that scare of infection and that problem? Because again, making it comfortable is definitely one thing. Making it stain free is definitely one thing. Making it sustainable for a longer time, that is one thing. The third, both important and most important thing is that it should be safe. It should be hygienic enough. So, what is the USP of Avni, and exactly what it is doing to tackle these?
So that is where what we do is we use our healthcare background. We have smartly incorporated an antimicrobial layer in our cloth pads. Now, whenever any menstrual fluid goes inside the pad, if it is exposed to atmosphere, then there are chances of bacteria being developed. So what we have done is, we have, because of this layer, the bacteria, they do not develop so fast. We have tested it for 100 washes. So 100 washes is approximately about 2 to 3 years of usage for one single cloth pad. So we have done testing studies by an independent lab, which actually certify that the antimicrobial layer which we are using will prevent infections from developing. So this is the first thing. If you talk about the product, the second thing is, we ourselves, I mean, Sujata herself comes out in front of the audience. She herself tries to educate the customer on how to use cloth pad much more effectively, so that all these challenges they are taken care of. So one thing is, we can make one of the best products which we want to do, but another thing which comes is, are consumers aware how to use the product, or they need to be educated, and that is the second step which we are trying to do via our initiative. We are trying to educate the customers the right way to use it.
There is a lot of ignorance if you talk about women consumers, especially like tampons or menstrual cups. There are a lot big percentage of women who actually don't know about these substitutes which are also available and
Right.
can be used during menstruation. So tell us, Apurva, through your cotton safe pads, how many lives you have touched so far, and what has been the customer experience?
So we are fortunate enough that customers have been very kind to us. We have about 50,000 customers to whom we have serviced so far. And not so I see that we impact lives in two ways. One is, of course, we have got customers who are using our products. We have got very good reviews from them. They in fact come back to us and give us their feedback on how and what we can do to improve the cloth pads further, which really makes it very engaging and very encouraging for us to develop and improvise the product further. Second way where we are able to actually impact the lives is that all the cloth pads which we manufacture, they are manufactured by women in a women run facility. So at the moment, we've got about 25 to 26 women who are working and manufacturing cloth pads. We really aim to take it to 100 by the end of this financial year. So our intention is to impact the lives not only by giving good products to the customers, but also if we can do something along the supply chain, create some projects which can help people generate more revenues, more income, I would say, we would be happy to do that.
Great. And as your venture has also received funds from We Founder Circle, so how much funds you have raised so far, and how has the funds been utilized?
So, what we raised our first round last year in April 2021 via We Found a Circle. They have been very kind to us to, it's a very different concept, and they accepted our concept, and they said that they will be willing and backing our startup, our organization. So we raised about 65 lakhs last year from them. And so the major thing which we wanted to do is get the product introduced into the market. So marketing and product introduction was the most important thing which we wanted to do. We have done that successfully. Now what we are doing is to further scale the business. Whatever funds we are raising is to scale the business.
Surely, because we definitely actually need to make this product available. Because if we talk about rural population, they are still not able to access these services. Like if you talk about cotton pads, definitely the cost would be lower, and there would be lesser resistance because they have been used to such things. There are government schemes also, Apurva, like there is a Karnataka government scheme called Shuchi, where they distribute sanitary napkins to the girls and the females, and also this is being there in other practice there in other states also, like Uttar Pradesh is there, Rajasthan, Maharashtra, Odisha, Chhattisgarh, Andhra Pradesh, Kerala. There are so many such states who are offering distributing free sanitary napkins in schools. It's like but even like if you say or call, I mean, to discuss Bihar. So in Bihar, adolescent girls are given rupees 300 under this Kishori Swasthya Yojana to buy sanitary.
Okay.
So what we gather from this is definitely affordability is one prime issue. As an affordable startup, as an affordable brand, is Avni able to cater to this important challenge of the healthcare?
So we are trying our best, I would say. See, affordability is a challenge, and that is why we always emphasize and say that reusable options always come into picture. Because if we are able, or if any women is able to use our cloth pads, a normal sanitary napkin costs about average 9 to 10 rupees, 8 to 10 rupees on an average. A cloth pad would cost on an average not more than 4 or 5 rupees. So we are anyways trying to make it much more sustainable. The product itself becomes much more sustainable economically as well as environmentally, both. So this is one way in which how we can actually look at the reusable options.
Definitely. And if we talk about your revenue, so what were your revenues in FY 2022 and what you're planning to close at this end of the year, FY 2023?
So see, we are very young startup, so revenues would not be so great. What I can share is that what we are looking at is a growth of about 4 to 5 times in this financial year. So we will be growing 4 or 5 times. In fact, we have grown quarter to quarter. If you look, we have grown by 100% already.
Wow, that's
Uh, so we are growing fast. It's a young organization, so the base is also small. We have to consider that too. But definitely, we'll be growing 4 to 5 times in this financial year.
so like, but in this plan of yours, what are the most important milestones that you are planning to achieve in this near future?
So the first and important milestone which we are planning is take our cloth pads, take our flagship products to the next level. grow it further, try to penetrate these products further, because this product has given us the name, and we know that this has got a lot of potential. We can develop this product further, so why not spend our energies in developing this product further rather than launching more and more products and losing our focus. So we want to stay focused. We are trying to build a good team here who can help us grow this business. So these are the two important areas which we are trying to focus at this point of
Definitely.
time.
But one to add one thing, as we talked about affordability, Apurv, because affordability is a major issue. While these commercially available sanitary napkins provide a possible alternative, there are only 12% of Indian women who can actually afford this option. And the average
Right.
woman, and there is another factor to affordability, is there is a lot of waste also that is getting accumulated. Like an average woman is estimated to throw away 125 to 150 kg of tampons, pads, and other applicators in their lifetime. This amounts to that a whopping 433 million such products per month to be discarded in India.
Yeah.
As I
Right.
would like to share one more study here, which is a new study. It has been estimated that 120 million girls and women use 12.3 billion sanitary napkins, amounting to
That's right.
113,000 tons of waste, reaching India's landfills every year. So, and commonly available, these sanitary napkins actually constitute 90% of plastic, which is another very scary thing, because again, it sometimes it's definitely not reusable to some extent, and it is not at all reusable. So, according to experts, these non-organic bags now can take up a whopping 800. It takes so much of years actually to fully decompose, then
Agree.
actually get assimilated, compared to the 2 years of organic cloth bags. So that is one important study which I shared, that approximately these non-organic pads are they take 800 to 1 lakh years to fully decompose. In compared to this, no, organic ones are just taking 2 years. So
Right.
as a sustainable startup, are you also catering to this fact, Apurva?
Yes, see, in a way, we are catering to this fact. See, most of our target audience, they reside in metro cities, they reside in tier one, tier two cities, who are, in a way, are consumers to the commercially available pads. So, any customer who buys from us is basically not buying a disposable sanitary napkin. So we are trying to replace the entire disposable sanitary napkin. Whatsoever population accepts this, we are trying to replace it. So in a way, yes, we are contributing to the same fact. And even if, as you rightly mentioned, though the numbers are very small, it's just 12% of women who are using. But even if we are able to make that change in so many women, we'll be making a big change, and that will have a ripple effect, and I expect and I believe that it will slightly gradually go down the channel, and every woman will understand that we can use more and more of reusable options, which is economical also.
Definitely. So, on this ending note, Apur, share some any learning, any experience that you had while building up your startup, as it's in the nascent years. But still, if you want to share any learning or anything, any customer experience that you felt that it was really inspiring for you to take it over. Because again, as startups, entrepreneurs' life is not easy. We
It
aim so
is.
many things, but it's not that. You need to have a good team. You need to have your funds. You need to consistently work before. I mean, work to achieve those dreams. It's not at all easy. So
Right.
share some.
I mean, we are very young in this, but one thing which we have learned is whatever I we when we are young, we have got a lot of ideas. We try to evaluate those ideas, convert them into a business plan. The most important thing is we have to see that in the long run, the business plan is sustainable or it becomes sustainable somehow. We have to make sure that if there are no funds which are available, though there is empty amount of funds which are available nowadays in the market, people are getting funds. If the idea is good, people are ready to back them up. But what if anything goes wrong? How are they able to sustain themselves? That's the most important thing for anyone in the startup ecosystem at the moment. We have to keep fighting, we have to keep, struggling. These are part and parcel of most of the businesses, but making it sustainable is most important. That is what we try to do it ourselves at Avni too.
Surely, surely. So thank you so much, Apurv, for joining us today at Medicircle for this healthcare startup series. We definitely hope and believe that you and your startup would definitely try to bring that change which you are expecting from this. Because again, going back to something definitely a welcoming change, especially for the women who consumers who would be using that product. Thank you once again.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much for inviting me. It's been a pleasure, sharing my experience here. Hope we are able to bring a lot of change in the lives of women.